We're watching every single Adam Sandler film, and we're now a quarter of the way finished.
Today we're tier listing every single film we've watched so far.
The first film we watched here on this channel was Grown Ups.
I gave it a 7.5. I didn't realize we weren't doing point systems.
I gave it a 5 because I thought I was gonna really hate it, but then it turned out to be this fine movie. There was like a bunch of ick in it, but it was still like a nice hangout, like dick around of a movie, I guess.
It's hard because my brain's split into two realms. Realms of analyzing the movies and then watching the movies on my own time, right? Where I'm not actually thinking about every single line said. This movie has so much rewatchability for me. It's so comfortable.
It is an odd comfort movie.
Yeah.
But I argue that I do both of those. Like, we point out the shit, but then we're also there to, like, we're doing this because we enjoy Adam Sandler.
We do.
Movies.
We absolutely, that's so true.
For me, it doesn't go above a B tier. Like, it's a movie, you know, it's fine. We've seen some really good stuff that is a lot better than Grown Ups, and I just think Grown Ups sits really well in the B tier.
I've watched Grown Ups so many times in my life. It's good for when I'm sick, it's good for when I'm tired. It shows off the female comedians like Maya Rudolph just having an interaction with another female, which most Adam Sandler movies don't do. It doesn't pass those tests. I really like it. I would give it, I mean, I know we're not doing half, so we can't do halfway between a B and an A.
There's no B.5. You would give it A tier?
You know, I can compromise on a B here.
You can compromise on B. All right, thank you. All right. Murder Mystery.
Murder Mystery used to be a comfort film till I actually watched it properly and didn't just have it on the background.
Yeah.
And I realized it was very lazy and the character dynamics didn't really gel that well.
Yeah, I also gave it a 5, but I don't remember any of it. I don't know, it's just very generic. And like, as I think I said in the review, like you can just go watch Knives Out instead.
Yeah, and actually have a good time.
I think it sits well in C. What about you?
Yeah, it's definitely not an F. We've definitely seen some stinkers out there. So I think C is pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's not stinky. Murder Mystery's fine.
Yeah, there was nothing that's too cringy. It just wasn't good.
Funny People.
Funny People. That was a long movie.
Yeah, I really liked it though, and it's really resonated well. I still have a lot of the same thoughts I had about it when we reviewed it.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a slept-on Judd Apatow film.
Yeah.
Like, he's got more popular, worse movies than Funny People. It's
a very dick joke heavy Judd Apatow, but there's also a lot of heart to it, and you're kind of a fly on the wall in the comedic scene in Hollywood, which is fun. The characters felt quite real. Again, like I've said this before, I'll say it again, it lost me in the final act where it just completely devolved and Eric Bana comes through.
The Australian Eric Bana can't sway you, huh?
It was annoying and it just dragged. The ending was nice. I remember rewatching the episode the other day and Joel said a nice thing about the ending where it didn't fully resolve itself. It kind of just let the characters be and let us believe that they're going to work their shit out.
The trust it goes on. I think for a lot of reasons, it's quite a special movie. Like, I would make a case for A tier on this one.
The final act was a C for me.
Yeah.
The start of the movie was really, really good. I thought it was at A tier. But then it just... The movie's only as good as its resolve.
But you look at, like, it's a deconstruction of him as a celebrity.
Sure.
And you're like, he's put through the ringer of, like, no, this is actually what cushy home life looks like. In any other movie, they would have put him with that girl. But in this movie, they stuck it out. They're like, no, we're not gonna let Adam Sandler have his fairy tale wedding at the end. That's not real life.
Yeah, but
Funny People plays a real Mac.
Yeah, but then fighting with Eric Bana on the lawn didn't feel that real as well. It just felt like it was a bit...
Oh, yeah.
Too much. It was too much.
Yeah, you're right.
B's as high as I take this, my friend.
B, The Cobbler.
Oh, I mean, I'm happy to make a whole new tier just below F.
Really? My thoughts on this film have gotten worse as time goes on. It's just not, it doesn't deserve to be in anyone's mind. Like, it's not the most excruciating thing ever.
I mean, the movie had so much potential. And that's something that Adam Sandler films not often have, where they've actually constructed an awesome world that I'm excited to be a part of.
Got great ideas in The Cobbler. So many great ideas.
Complete opposite of Grown Ups. Grown Ups is so simplistic in premise, but beautifully executed. This movie, amazing premise, terribly executed, and I almost hated it more when we started getting comments from you people out there defending The Cobbler. I thought, nah, f- The Cobbler. With that being said, I don't know if it's an F or not.
I'm happy to give it a C as well if you don't think it's an F.
I just keep thinking about so much potential. There was something there that was rough, but it was still good.
Cobbler going in for a C. Punch Drunk Love.
Punch Drunk Love.
Honestly, one of just my favorite films ever out of all films.
Wow.
It is a 10 from me.
It was a 10 from you. It was an 8 from me. It was a very strong 8 too. I had a really good time. The
Such
result
a
was pretty good.
Spectacular film.
And it dared to do something different. You can feel it in people taking a chance on Adam Sandler here.
Yeah, I mean, Paul Thomas Anderson did Magnolia, a smash hit, and then everyone was like, what are you gonna do next? And he's like, oh, I'm gonna make a 90-minute rom-com with Adam Sandler. And everyone was like, haha, funny joke. And then he did it, and it's awesome.
It's touching and it's different. It's got some kook to it.
It's an easy S tier.
It's an easy S for you.
I would chuck it right up in the S. If this doesn't belong in S,
no,
nothing
you're
does.
right. I don't think I need to fight you on this one at all. I think this is a happy S.
Let's go.
It was beautiful.
Spaceman.
Oh, I really liked Spaceman.
Spaceman is great. I gave it a 7.
I gave it a 9. Again, another film. There's back-to-back films that were daring and years and years and years apart, if not decades apart. They dared to do something wonderful and deep. And Spaceman delivered on all of that.
I did really enjoy it. It could have had like a bit more oomph for me, I think. I really think it could have followed through with all its ideas in a stronger kind of sense.
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to feel a bit more, but I didn't. It's not like I didn't feel. I felt a lot of things. I love Paul Dano's Spider.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Paul Dano just had so much beautiful wisdom he imparted through the Spider the whole movie. I'm sure Paul Dano didn't write the script himself, but hey, the lines were just magnificent and poignant.
We never saw his face, and yet I felt like I got so much from him.
This is very high A for me.
Yeah, I'd put it in A tier, absolutely.
Yeah.
So happy to chuck it in.
Yeah, let's go A.
Sandy Wexler.
F. And for those of you, again, that reached out in Reels and said, oh no, I really enjoyed this movie.
Bruh.
Fantastic. Go watch Hotel Transylvania as well. Enjoy yourself.
Hustle.
Great film.
There's so little bad you can say. It's just solid. A lot of the performances are from basketballers and it shows a little bit sometimes, but it's solid.
It didn't dare to do something massive like a Coach Carter. There was a really, really profound elements of Coach Carter and dark. This didn't dare to do something that brave, but it was still within a realm of drama and it was super enjoyable. Is it an A though?
I would put it in A.
You'd put it in an A?
It's solid.
It is solid. Let's give it an A. I think it deserves it.
It's a solid film. I wish it could live up there with Funny People, but apparently not.
You know,
Pixels.
Yeah,
I really did. I gave this a 3 out of 10.
I gave it a 5, which I think was mostly nostalgia talking.
And that one scene of Kevin James.
The toughest part about movies like this is they don't view well under the microscope, but you take them out from the microscope and they're on the whole pretty enjoyable movies to watch. They're easy watching, background viewing. You're tired on a Friday night, you really can't be bothered thinking too hard. Pixels is that. It doesn't hold up well under the microscope though.
If you actually pay attention, it doesn't hold up.
If you want a storyline where Josh Gad doesn't f*** a pixel creature, then sure, yeah.
It sits well in C for me.
Yeah, I think so.
It's right there.
It's leaking into F, but it's not quite making the full journey. Reign Over Me.
Reign Over Me. I've thought about this film a lot.
Me too.
Like, it's a really great one. I gave it a 7. I'd probably stick with that. It's maybe close to an 8.
So it's a strong 7, light 8. Fantano rules there.
Real special stuff.
I gave it a 9. I watched this movie for the first time as a single man years and years ago after a breakup. And I was by myself in an Airbnb that was booked for me and the partner. And then I went by myself.
Oh, man.
And I saw this Sandler film. Because it's a Sandler film, I just expected a Gooftacular. And what I got was something so much more profound. And I think it still just sticks with me. Every time I watch it now, I just think it's, you know, I'm in this beachside, cold, wintry night watching this film, and I just am loving myself watching it sick. I think Reign Over Me is almost an S in my head. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I mean, it sits comfortably in A for me.
Okay.
I'm not sure if it's quite an S in my books. I think it's a very strong A.
My reasoning for an S here is that it was daring. Again, it was daring to do something bigger than itself. It was daring to dive into topics that were darker and grittier, and it was brave in that they let themselves resolve it. In the courtroom scene, the way it took that twist, the movie
Yeah.
could have ended a lot earlier and given you this sunshiny ending, but they didn't. They took it to the courts and it got
Yeah.
really ugly, and they still managed to polish it and leave it pretty in the end, but in a dark way. That's why it's an S for me.
Damn it, you're right.
Let's
It's-
go!
it's an
Rain Over
S.
Me is an S, baby.
Oh, golly gog.
Going Overboard is an F.
Going overboard is definitely an F. It's just Adam Sandler whinging that he has no women the entire film, and then we
Yeah.
watch people with women treat him like shit, and a bit
Yeah.
of brown faces in there.
Yeah.
I just terrible jokes. Terrible. It goes on for so long.
You can see him trying so hard though, and he's so excited to be there.
It's his first film.
It
Like,
doesn't promote it to a C by any means.
No, but as his first film, like, yeah, he's having a good time, and that was the only, like, thing that was, I was fine to, like, look at, was him having a good time. This is the most recent one we watched, The Wedding Singer.
Now, the thing with The Wedding Singer, folks, is I believe it's a 10 and Joel's an idiot on this.
My first time ever watching
Yeah,
it.
you're right.
I enjoyed it. Now that I know what it is, look, I know I'm gonna go and rewatch it
Yeah.
and enjoy it more.
Got you. Look, the tough part here, and to your credit, you're right, it will grow on you over time as
Yeah,
well.
all I could see was like the bum grab, so many bum grabs,
Yeah.
childs grabbing bums,
Yeah.
old men grabbing bums. I'm like, oh my god.
There's just so much nostalgia tied in this movie. This was one of my early memories of movies. My dad would always just let me watch Adam Sandler films, and specifically The Wedding Singer was something that I always came back to. Like, hey Linda, you a bitch. Like, so quotable, and the least, in my recollection, the least gritty. And we still haven't gotten to the Happy Gilmores, which is some of my childhood favorites.
Yeah.
But just such a beautiful story, and especially as a young me watching this and seeing such a positive role model in Adam Sandler actually being a good man, standing amongst shit men in this
Yeah.
movie. I think this is an S in the category of non-artsy Adam Sandler films, but in the comedy variety, I think this is S tier for that. It's standing amongst Punch Drunk Love and Rain Over Me, which are two very artsy dark films.
All the flourishing different kinds of films too, though. Like, I think it absolutely sits there.
Yeah, happy with an S?
I'm happy with an S.
Fantastic.
Let's chuck it up into the S. And here you have our first quarter of Adam Sandler films tier list.
Wow, wait. My friends, if we haven't told you already, subscribe because we've got so much more to go.
100%. We're going to
Yeah.
keep adding to this tier list as the quarters add up. So it'll be the same list and we'll just keep chucking stuff on. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Make sure you tell someone you love them today.
Go watch an Adam Sandler film. We love you.
Bye.